Well, howdy, America. Shortly I'm going to show you a clip off of the THOM Hartmann program, and you'll see why that we have drafted THOM Hartmann for our presidential candidate. But I'd just like to say that the Republicans, they ought to be horsewhipped. And you'll see why if you pay attention to this coming up clip.
Who's screwed? America's children. There are 16 million children living in poverty right now, and if trends continue, a quarter of all the children. Who's screwed? America's children. There are 16 million children living in poverty right now, and if trends continue, a quarter of all. Who's screwed? Who's screwed? America's children. There are 16 million children living in poverty right now, and if trends continue, a quarter. There haven't been numbers this troubling since the Great Depression. And what do Republicans want to do about that? Cut services to low-income. Programs in the Republican crosshairs include the Head Start program, the Child Nutrition Assistance program, and an array of other education, all for disadvantaged children. So just in a time of unprecedented child poverty, Republicans cut programs like last year in a time of historically high unemployment. Republicans wanted to cut off unemployment insurance. Just like when facing an all 50 million, Republicans wanted to repeal health reform. Just like on the heels of a financial crisis, stopped Wall Street reform legislation from happening. Just like in response to the environmental catastrophe, the BP oil spill, keep giving the oil industry $3 billion a year in welfare payments. And finally, just in a time of record high budget deficits, Republican lapdogs want to give their millionaire and billionaire buddies a tax cut. The National People's Action and the Public Accountability Initiative revealed that the 6 biggest banks in America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan, and Stanley, paid an average of 11% taxes on their massive profits, well below the 35% profits, well below the 35% corporate income tax rate. That's billions in lost revenue. It can pay for many of the programs' percent corporate income tax rate. That's billions in lost revenue. It can pay for many of the programs for women and children that Republicans put on the job.
Okay, well, I tried to get a little creative there by making some of those clips repeat. But now you see why we think that THOM Hartmann would make a good president. Now, I understand that there were some protests outside of Wall Street and outside of Bank of America, and these protests should continue. And the federal government should send a bill to Wall Street and to the banks for the money that they've lost, the American people. And I'm beginning to think, hey, you know, maybe it's time to recall John Boehner, because he seems like a person who is not for the American people. You know, all my life I never thought that the Republican Party would do this to the American people. And like Tom just said, there's plenty of money out there. And there's a couple of programs on Link TV, documentaries, that if you watch these documentaries, you'll understand what the hell is going on here.